Alright, no joke. You should have seen some of the strategies we tried on this fight when we were pushing for our world 3rd kill. We literally tried a strat where we stacked everybody on top of each other and ran circles around the room for 5 minutes, assuming the cat could never successfully jump on us. Yeah, we couldn't see that going wrong at all. Fandral Staghelm remains a dynamic kind of two-phase fight on heroic mode. There is only one new ability, but his health skyrockets to a staggering 430 million HP. Spirit of the Flame adds gain a slight boost, bringing their HP to 1.5 million each. You'll want to bring one tank, 4 to 6 healers, and a balanced mix of DPS. Depending on your raid's overall DPS, melee may prove more beneficial to beating out the enrage timer. But honestly, if you made it past Bellrock, we really doubt Fandral's enrage will give you much trouble. Like all of our heroic guides, this guide will assume that you've done the fight on the normal difficulty and does not cover normal mode tactics or abilities. For more in-depth coverage of the fight as a whole, please refer to our normal mode strategy guide. As stated previously, Fandral only has one new ability on heroic difficulty. At the start of the encounter, each player will be given a concentration bar added to their UI. This bar will begin at 0 and fill up slowly over time to a maximum of 100. For every 25 concentration energy the bar fills, the player's damage and healing done will increase by 25%. Taking any damage during the fight will cause the player to lose all of their concentration and the bar will reset to 0. All of Fandral's other abilities will remain identical to their normal mode behavior, but like all heroic encounters, his damage has been substantially increased. Fandral has a 10-minute hard enrage timer. This means your raid must burn through his whopping 430 million HP within 10 minutes. In order to achieve this, players will have to maintain 100 concentration to double their DPS as much as possible. Maintaining 100 concentration means avoiding taking any of the encounter's damaging attacks. We'll go over how this is achieved one ability at a time. During cat phase, the primary source of damage will be leaping flames in the fiery circle it leaves behind. This is easy to avoid for multiple reasons. To start, Fandral will use this attack each time his energy bar reaches 100. This makes it extremely predictable and allows players to prepare and be ready for it. Additionally, the boss will briefly target the player that he is leaping to. If quick enough, players can react to this and move out of the way early. Alternatively, players can just preemptively move as his energy reaches 100 to be safe. By moving before Leaping Flames lands, players can avoid the damage from this attack and retain their 100 stack of concentration. In Scorpion form, the primary source of damage will be Flame Sight. In addition to breaking concentration, this attack will deal insane amounts of damage on heroic difficulty. The best way to handle this ability is by either stacking cooldowns on the main tank and allowing him to absorb the ability by himself, or by simply shifting back to cat form before the actual ability happens. Both methods are reliable and easy to pull off, and the only difference is what your raid is more comfortable with. Depending on the cooldown makeup, your raid may have to stack cooldowns on the tank for one Scorpion phase and skip taking a slash on the next. The point is, by allowing the tank to take one slash on his own, the rest of the raid retains their concentration stack and raid DPS continues to stay at 200% of normal. The specials are where things can begin to get tricky, and these can be part of what makes melee so effective on this encounter. There are moments in the fight where damage absolutely cannot be avoided, and some or all players will be forced to lose their concentration stacks. This will occur during Searing Seeds and Burning Orbs. Searing Seeds will be handled just as they are in normal mode and will reset the individual player's concentration upon detonation. In most cases, this cannot be avoided and does not change the encounter at all. Burning Orbs, however, must be handled much more rigidly than normal mode. Pair off the range in teams of 2 or 3 and allow them to alternate on orbs. The point of this strategy is to sacrifice the range and healer concentration stacks by having them handle the orbs and allow all of melee to maintain their 200% DPS bonus. A total of 5 orbs spawn, which means that 5 range and 5 healers can pair off and theoretically handle all of them. If your raid has more range, have them fill in where they see fit and let them be backups in case an orb target dies. This is also the segment of the fight that will be the most healing intensive. do not hesitate to use cooldowns such as Divine Guardian, Aura Mastery, or Tranquility to help survive through the Burning Orb phase. Here is the basic order of how the fight should be approached. Begin the fight in Scorpion, allow the tank to take one Flame Scythe on his own by overloading him with cooldowns, then immediately have the raid spread out. Alternatively, the raid can spread out just before Flame Scythe to avoid the ability altogether. Remain in Cat for around 6 to 8 leaps and use cleave abilities to DPS down Spirit of the Flame meds without losing a lot of boss DPS. Make sure ranged DPS avoids as many leaps as possible. Once back in Scorpion, Searing Seeds will go out and the raid will handle this debuff just like normal mode. Take one Scythe on the tank with a full cooldown stack, or take no Scythe and immediately spread out again. Here the raid can repeat another 6 to 8 leap Cat phase and handle it just like the previous one. Transition back into Scorpion and the tank will eat or not eat another Flame Scythe. After spreading back out for the third Cat phase, Burning Orbs will spawn. Use the buddy system team pairs to properly handle the orbs and use any raid cooldowns necessary to keep players alive. Have hybrids such as Moonkin and Shadow Priest heal if things get tough. Having Fandral leap on a player who is currently taking an orb can be an almost instant kill, so be ready to battle res the unfortunate player quickly. After 6 to 8 leaps, orbs will have despawned and the raid transitions back to Scorpion. Repeat this cycle until the boss dies. This fight becomes very execution based once the strategy is understood. The raid has to focus on getting each part of the fight down and repeatable before worrying about the next. One thing you should not be concerned with is DPS. If everything else is done correctly, the boss will die before the enrage timer. If you enjoyed this guide or found it helpful, remember to bookmark us at LearntoRaid.com, subscribe to us on YouTube, Blip, and Justin TV, and follow us on Twitter. As always, we hope this guide was helpful, and we'll see you at the next boss.
I wasn't feeling so good. I just didn't feel like playing anymore. So I went home, and I got all comfy and cozy and all scrunched up in front of my phonograph.